Good day, good afternoon, good evening. I am Serena, and this is your audio only episode. And I'm going to be looking at the federal judge story who has frozen the Onion purchase of Infowars amid auction concerns. And my source is Ground News. I'll tell you a little bit about them, but the summary we have is the latest. A federal judge has temporarily halted the Onion's $3.5 million acquisition of Infowars, scheduling a hearing next week to review concerns about the auction's transparency and bidding process. Why does this matter? The sales outcome will determine the future of the controversial website, with The Onion planning to transform it into a parody site, while Sandy Hook families agree to reduce their $1.5 billion settlement to support the bid. So let's get a little bit more into Ground News in this story. So first and foremost, I use Ground News to stay up to date with events around the world because it can be difficult, and where it's possible, it's difficult for us to consult a single source for the full story. As we know, narratives shape public opinion, often just reinforce media and corporate-backed vested interests. Information is released faster than it can be verified, and reporting favours clickbait content over high-quality journalism. We are more than aware of manipulative algorithms that reinforce our own biases, and mainstream media overshadows independent reporting. So it's hard to know what information to trust. So I use Ground News. It's an app and website that combines news from around the world in one place so that you can compare coverage. For every news source, you can see if they have a political bias and how reliable their reporting is and who owns them. They have a blind spot feed that highlights news that is being disproportionately covered by one side of the political spectrum. So you can also get news from thousands of sources worldwide in one place. You can see who's funding each publication, verify your information, see what the media is exaggerating, sensationalizing, over or under reporting, and you can access diverse perspectives and get news sources from sources you would have missed, really. So you can check out ground.news / my identifier, which is available in this description of this episode, and you can get 15% off any subscription. I use the Vantage plan to get unlimited access to every feature. So the issue here is that the auction process, there are some concerns with it. Sources across the spectrum highlight widespread concerns about the transparency and legitimacy of the bankruptcy auction process, particularly regarding the sealed bids and altered bidding rounds. Sandy Hook family's strategic role. It seems that media outlets emphasize how the Sandy Hook family's willingness to accept reduced damages played a crucial role in the Onion's bid success, despite not being the highest monetary offer. Platform resilience. Now, commentators note that the ability of controversial figures to maintain their platforms despite setbacks, drawing parallels between Jones and other deplatformed media personalities. What I'm going to do here is go straight to the various stories that are covering this issue. Let's have a quick scroll through the bias distribution of these sources, and I think the best story for us really is one that has the highest factuality, and hopefully it's more in terms of leaning center. Oh goodness me, it looks like most that are high factuality lean left, unless ta-da, we have Portland Press Herald. High factuality It's an independent owned by Maine Today Media, and it's very much centre. So let's have a quick look at this now. Let's hope it doesn't play any audio. Judge pauses The Onion's takeover of Infowars over auction concerns. The Onion had the winning bid in the Infowars bankruptcy auction. A judge said the sale is on hold while he reviews the bidding process. This is by Laura Wagner, The Washington Post, it seems, although it's the Portland Press Herald. Interesting. So you could actually listen to this article, but I'll read out the most relevant bits. A federal bankruptcy judge has paused The Onion's acquisition of Alex Jones Infowars pending a court review of the auction process after lawyers for Jones and the company affiliated with him complained that the satirical news site had put in a bid of $3.5 million. The Onion, which planned to relaunch the conspiracy-minded Infowars as a parody website, was named the winner of the bankruptcy auction held in Houston on Thursday. Jones, who also sells dietary supplements, was forced to put Infowars and other assets up for sale after a judge ruled in June that he had to pay roughly $1.5 billion in damages for claiming the 2012 mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School was a hoax. A group of Sandy Hook families who filed the defamation lawsuit against Jones agreed to accept a smaller payout to increase the overall value of the Onion's bid, according to the family's lawyers. But Judge Christopher Lopez said Thursday that he had concerns about how the bidding process played out and ordered a hearing for next week to review how the auction was conducted. At the court hearing Thursday, the trustee overseeing the bankruptcy auction said the Onion did not have the highest bid, but that the Sandy Hook family's agreement to forego some of their defamation award to pay off Jones's other creditors made the Onion's bid the best overall deal, according to the Associated Press. The trustee, Christopher Murray, did not share the dollar amount of the Onion's bid, but said he followed the rules laid out by the judge that allowed him to skip a round of bidding that would have let interested parties try to outbid each other. Lopez said he had concerns about the process and its transparency. In quotes, "We are all going to an evidentiary hearing and I'm going to figure out exactly what happened," end quote, he said, according to the Associated Press. Quote, "No one should feel comfortable with the results of this auction," end quote. During his Infowars show Thursday, Alex Jones called the sealed bidding process as rigged. In a statement to the Washington Post, Ben Collins, a former NBC News reporter who is now the CEO of the Onion's parent company, said the bid from his company and the Connecticut families has been selected as a winning bid for Infowars. The sale is currently underway as part of the standard processes. So those are all the facts of the case. Would you like some mess surrounding the case? Well, I'm going to quickly go to a little bit of what's being said about this latest update on the ever so reliable X. How are you doing on X, by the way? The reason why I ask is there's a massive departure, isn't there, of many celebrities and those on the left who are deciding it's time. But interestingly, as I say that, I think it's Don Luca who's actually not on the left and has decided to leave X for his own reasons around content creation concerns. That's an interesting one, which I'll probably do a little bit more of a dive into. Alex Jones on the 15th, this is yesterday, said, "Breaking, apparently conspiracy to rig the Infowars auction now under criminal investigation as Infowars is restored to Alex Jones." So there's going to be an investigation. Let's see, what's he saying here?
I'm standing here in the Infowars studios. The historic studios have been here 16 years in South Austin. And I just wanted to point out to all the viewers out there that, as you notice now, finally corporate media is reporting that not only did the judge halt the sale of InfoWars at auction of the Onion, but that the sale did not go through. It was not an auction. It was a private, secret sale masquerading as an auction. And I can tell you we've now gotten all the auction materials.
You can definitely see now the difference between how it's been interpreted and told to us by Alex Jones compared to the article I just read. Let's continue.
And the rules, and none of it was followed. That means federal law was not followed. And it gets worse than that. The Sandy Hook families...
He said the Sandy Hook families in air quotes with his fingers.
Put a placeholder in their bid that no matter how high our bid went, the patrons were trying to buy it, it would kick in magically the $1.5 billion judgment they have on me that's fake and on appeal to magically match that, but the people bidding would never know that no matter how big their bid, this funny money that didn't exist would then beat them.
funny money. And then I'm sure you've seen, in fact, I might even use this for the thumbnail. Let's save this image. I'm sure you've seen the image of Alex Jones carrying a sink into InfoWars head office, I guess. Let's just quickly do a quick save of that image. I'll use that in the thumbnail. Ian Carroll says, I stand with Alex Jones. I stand with the entire InfoWars crew. Alex Jones, just 23 hours ago, says, I'm back on the air at the legendary InfoWars Central Texas Command Center. Anna Merlin says, just 7 hours ago, new, as Alex Jones continues to trying to halt the sale of InfoWars to The Onion, lawyers for X made an appearance during an emergency hearing on Thursday. The company hasn't explained why. Discussing Film says The Onion has acquired InfoWars in a bankruptcy auction. As we know now, they plan to debut a new InfoWars. Onion CEO says that they acquired it because this is the funniest thing that has ever happened. Are they mocking? The Middle Earth Mixer says Alex Jones and InfoWars total victory against the dark forces behind the Onion purchase. Ha 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 ha. Never been more back. And there's a little bit more from Alex in this clip.
What I was going to do, I'm going to go talk to him. I did talk to him over the phone. And they're going to Houston for the emergency hearing that the folks I was working with that put in real bids were just denied the process. They went and paid. They went and put down deposits. They did everything right. And then, nope, sorry, lower bid gets it. And that's all coming out in court. So, and if the judge wants to certify this, and that's what America is so far, we know that we've got to, continue to work to restore our republic, but we've won. Trump's in. We're turning the tide. And so, the feds that were here.
There's that clip. And there's another one. Alex posted this himself yesterday, the 15th.
From the multi-hour emergency court hearing today in federal bankruptcy court in Houston. And I called all the lawyers and talked to them, and they had a total consensus. They've never seen anything like it. The words were exactly, this was a private secret sale. Basically illegal is the word that's used. Basically, it's crime.
More of the same from Alex, and he states also 9 hours ago, InfoWars sale to The Onion never happened. I'm back broadcasting from the InfoWars studios. We did a live show last night from our recaptured headquarters. Watch the historic broadcast below. This is a huge scandal. Mainstream media is still falsely reporting that The Onion is the new owner. Interesting. Max Blumenthal reports that The Onion was reportedly at the verge of collapse when it was bought early this year by Jeff Lawson, a major Kamala donor and tech billionaire who hawks AI solutions, he says. This week, Lawson made headlines when he purchased Alex Jones Infowars in a fire sale after Sandy Hook parents who obtained an eye-popping, seemingly unprecedented $1.5 billion judgment against Jones for the falsehoods he spread about them. To lead the Onion's parent company, which has subsumed Infowars, Lawson has appointed a CEO with no background in comedy or business. He is Ben Collins, a former disinformation and extremism reporter for NBC News and one of the most recognizable faces of the censorship industrial complex that sprouted up during the Trump era to hound alt media figures like Jones. Collins has spent his short career pumping out a consistent stream of attacks on targets of the national security state and centrist political establishment, while spreading no shortage of misinformation along the way. This is all Max Blumenthal's ex-post. Now behind the brand of a once edgy satire mag, Collins promises, and this is a quote, "We're gonna go after like every facet of alternative media that's trying to get you addicted to stupid stuff," end quotes. His top targets, he says, will be, in quotes, podcasters and TikTok influencers who have some really curious ideas of the world, end quote. Though Collins doesn't explain which stupid stuff or curious ideas he finds so objectionable, his agenda is fairly clear and deadly serious. And if you question it, you too are one of the conspiracists. Let's play this clip.
Look, we're going to go after all of every facet of alternative media that is trying to get you addicted to stupid stuff. There's a whole world of podcasters and TikTok influencers who have some really curious ideas of the world. And I also think that we're learning right now that their followings are just as big, if not bigger, than traditional celebrities. And they've gone unmocked. They got a free pass to this point. We don't think that that's fair.
Why don't you think that's fair? Ian Carroll says, "Jeff can lick my nutsack." Interesting take there. So you can pretty much take from that there seems to be a lot going on that seems peculiar. I'm interested to hear your take. So please do jump in the comments if you haven't already, and if you would like more from me in audio form to make this content more regular, then please do let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you again for your time and your attention. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do. I do still stream a few times within the week, so you will always get a deposit on camera, but if you would like more of these audio drops, I could do these much more regularly. Please let me know here. You can join the channel, you can join my Patreon, and you could at the very least buy me a coffee, because as everyone says, who asked you to buy a coffee? They say, we love coffee here. Well, we is me, okay? And I like coffee, alright? I do, I like coffee. I'm going to go to my local in Surrey or in London, wherever I'm based, and I'm going to go get myself, what am I going to get myself? I do like a coconut latte, as long as they don't load it up too much with the coconut milk, but I do fancy a coconut latte. I think that's what I'll do. So, who's going to buy me a coconut latte? I appreciate you, as we say here. You could say appreciate if you're American, but I do appreciate you. And catch me outside. Just kidding. Catch me in the next one.